I go by the name of Clay. You can call me Kwame Mathenis a lot, and I'm here with the beautiful.
Delali, you can call me the Alpha. She's always late.
Chamano Day. Yeah.
Noble Ninote Note, also known as Note Diego. Let's get it.
Let's go. And this is the Mind Expression podcast.
Yay!
Hoorah!
Okay.
Whatever that
Make your fire quiet.
Okay, so today, this I think will be a personal thing for all of us.
Yeah.
We're talking about how we're raised in our African homes, respectively. Because growing up, me, I have personally come to understand that our parents, the way they raised us, has a lot of red flags, has a lot of, in as much as it has its own good side, it has like a lot of things attached to it that can break you by the time you grow up. You understand? So we're going to talk about parenting in our African homes. It could be a single parent home. So me, I come from a single parent home. Notte?
I come from a single parent.
You
home.
too?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm
Same here, single.
Single.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie.
So I was thinking at least one person or two people will be from a double-sided home so that we could also.
Well, I had the double-sided, but kakra and sana me co-independent.
Okay, so for me, being in a single parent home, I felt was so. My dad was around until when I was. He left, and my dad was like my best friend. You understand? So for me, my best friend leaving me with someone I don't know because I didn't really know my mom much. My mom gave birth to me, left, and then went to school, and then came back. So my dad, raised me to a point. So by the time he left at 7 years, I didn't really know my mom well. You understand? So for me, it was more or less like being with a stranger. It is now time for me to get to know her. And see, my mom is an amazing woman, but Charlie, pain can make you do things. So knowingly and unknowingly, she probably did things that right now has some form of effect on me. You understand? So I do not know how each and every one of us grew up and the situation that led to either your other parents not being around or not. But this is my story.
So I lived with my mom in the beginning, and before she and my dad split, before that's not many years. So the one that I remember was when I moved in with my dad, and we were living in the Zongo. My dad was there but not there. He was my best friend at that time, but he left me for his mom to take care of me. And knowingly or unknowingly, he made me this proud girl that if you do something to me, I'll tell my father. If I tell my father to...
So you were a DB at that time?
Not the cash kind of DB, but then the DB that... I'm catch him, Papa. And my dad had this temper. I have the same temper too, but... He will come and fight you. Yeah. He fights his mom, his siblings, everybody. And it got to a point I felt I'm always right.
Okay.
If I feel it's right, it is right. And if I tell my dad, he will say, yes, it is right. The person is wrong. So knowingly or unknowingly, I got some traits from my dad that was not good. But when I came back to live with my mom, she also has her own way of nurturing me. My mother's own is, and she will use
always be negative.
Anything to hit you, and hitting you, is your head. According to her, wadring and then yejuma. So benkuta
your head.
Aye, ready. Or she will use it to hit you to the point where it's like you have cried, the tears is not coming again. So
did you ever feel like?
Do we agree that? Would we all agree that daughters, most of the time, daughters and mothers kind of, it's like a rivalry thing?
Yeah, we had a problem. Like back then, when I came to live with my mom again, we had a problem because my dad makes me feel like I'm right. and my mom, you are wrong.
You're always
Like we have a problem all the time. So I felt like she didn't love me.
I was going to ask you
See,
that.
let me chip in this
Yeah.
short thing. Someone who lives in Kumasi told me this, that it happens in Kumasi a lot,
Yeah.
where women will go into marriage with like their daughters, and maybe the man they went into the marriage with, kind of maltreats the girl. If sometimes when it's a boy, they maltreat the boy, or when it's a girl, they kind of molest them in a way. And when the girls complain, they will rather shut their girls up and tell them, say, I'm taking you to your grandmom's place just to save their marriage.
Yes.
Wopɛ sɛ wobɛgu ma wareɛ.
Yeah, it happens.
You get me? So women and their daughters, especially when the girls are growing and they are in their adolescent stage, there's this rivalry somewhere there. I don't know if it is just me, but I think I've witnessed that a couple of times.
No, I won't call
Is
it
it rivalry over a man?
Over who? Over what?
Over the husband now.
No, sometimes maybe the husband, maybe even if the man he's living with is the biological father of the child, the guy who's a girls kind of gravitate more towards their dad. And when that happens, the dads also, like, because they are girls, they want to protect,
so
they are
fathers
overprotect.
are more attached to their daughters.
Yeah,
And
so when it
the
happens,
mothers become jealous of that kind of
kind of like
that's what
you
you're
can't
saying.
call
That
it
kind of attention
Yeah.
because they do not receive it anymore from
their
yes.
husbands. Yes.
So you think a lot of the things that happen between mothers and their daughters, it's because of that?
Not necessarily. Some
Well,
for the sake of it. With me, it
you will have to
wasn't.
wait to have your daughters to to say that probably.
So with me, it wasn't.
I don't think so. But damn, your stories are kind of heavy.
So,
But right now, like
wanted to
ask your
you
question.
something.
Yes.
You know, at some point, did you ever think to say, "Nah, she's not my mommy. She did not push me out."
No.
I've
I've never
been there.
felt. No, I have
I
not
know
got.
a girl who feels like the mom is not.
It looks like Ikea went there and walked around that place.
No, I have not gotten to the
and
point.
pitched the camp.
I have not gotten
Pitched
to the point.
My foundation through the house.
I did not get to the point where I feel like Georgina doesn't. She birthed me at a very young age, and according to her, she chose me because she has done her things, and she chose that
You were the chosen one.
this baby I want
Must
it,
come out.
so I'm giving birth to it.
Yeah.
And she never makes me forget that she chose me.
Okay.
So if she has chosen me and I'm fooling, she has to make sure the fooling disappears from my brain.
Okay.
And right now we have a relationship that I used to have it with my dad. So now my dad and I are not close, but my mother and I, we are like 4, 5, 6.
Do you think you've been manipulated to?
It's this.
No, I got to know my dad differently when, you see, they were apart. So I lived with my dad and he's always out. I'm with my grandma. Then I lived with my mom.
And she gave you all the time.
She did not give me all the time. She was also gone. I was also living with her mother so much. And it's like these two are not there for me. They are always about themselves.
Yeah.
Then they got back together. Then they lived together. And it's like they are both gone. It's just me and my grandma again.
Even together.
Even together. It was like they were both gone. It's just me and my grandma. And I didn't have a relationship with my mom. That teenage thing you would talk till something happened and they told her,
Yeah.
Then we developed a relationship.
Yeah.
If not for that, like my mother and I will be hello, hi people. But right now, 5 and 6. So
Well,
general for the mom.
Ikea,
yes,
can I ask a question?
Ask a question.
Perhaps. How long did you stay with your mom before you went with your dad for a long time?
me,
Yes.
as I said earlier, my dad raised me to a point. So
From
they were married.
from how?
They were married, right?
Yes.
And then immediately my mom gave birth to me. She had to go into teacher training because she's a teacher. So my mom and my grandmother had to, my mom's mother had to, but my dad was like the active one. I won't remember the age when my mom came back.
Back.
I don't remember.
So right from infancy, your mom was not around.
No.
Oh wow.
She would just come in weekends and
But you,
No, because
you
of-
see, it, some of the things you say, like that's why I was asking, because then it makes sense. In the beginning, I wanted to ask, is it a coincidence that all four of us come from single parent homes, or is this actually
the
the reality on the ground? Because, you know, and not only single parent homes, sometimes broken homes.
Yes.
Because in school, I was reading about this thing in like JSS, but my mind could never comprehend that I was reading about myself
Yeah.
and what I was going through until quite later on in my life, you know. But I could never speak to the kind of atrocities you've seen. I came from my own hardship because my mom and my dad were never together.
Okay.
So it was like maybe a relationship. Through that relationship, my sister came, my eldest sister came,
Wow.
and then my second eldest sister came, and then I came. With me coming, my mom died. So
You never had
right
a
from birth,
relationship with-
yes. But I've had, that is to say, for me, it's both a sad situation, but in the end, you see, when I juxtapose it to your situations, it's like you never had a relationship and then you had a relationship and it was bad. I never had a relationship at all.
Oh.
You understand?
So who raised you?
The woman who is my mom is actually my mother's sister. In reality, my mother's stepsister. But in Ghana, you know, when someone is a step, you don't
It's
really
family.
add it. It's not really, it doesn't
You add
really,
it and everybody thinks you hate him more.
yes,
but
yes.
you are a
Be-
step
yeah,
anyway.
but
And how was it?
oh, my mom is great. She wasn't perfect.
Okay.
In by no way was she perfect, but everything she tried to teach us, every time, like, here's the thing. My mom was hard when she had to be, but when she noticed, like, I won't say she hasn't hit me before or anything, but it was rare.
Yeah.
And when she noticed she couldn't hit me anymore, from that day she stopped.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of like hitting me with a cane and I held it like this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, bye, me. Are you going to beat me now? And it's like, oh, I can't beat you. And from that day she stopped.
I literally fought her.
No.
Like, not like she tried to, like, so I blocked it and then she used her other hand. She wanted to use her other hand too, then I blocked again. So it was like a
Oh,
back
me, I have
and-
not had the chance to fight my mother.
And-
That woman is crazy. Oh, I cannot fight. She can use, hey,
Your mom-
You know,
she's
for-
crazy.
No, from my situation, I think it was a matter of pain, because she couldn't, at that time she still has nobody to talk to, so then everything is in, and I am a representation
like
of,
she sees your dad with.
because see, my relationship with my dad was like this. I remember my first day at school, my dad was taking me to school, and then I said I won't go. Then they bought 2 eggs. So there's a picture of me holding
2 eggs.
like this as a small baby girl, right? My dad would come and pick me from school, and I was his wife. Let me say that. But every evening we would go and buy Kelly Willy. I'll come and sleep on its leg.
Me too. Every evening we used to
You
buy
get it. And then all of a
what's the
sudden,
name?
7 years old.
Linda Door. He's gone.
When you're a child, it's the little things.
Exactly.
It's the little
He's
things.
gone.
Yeah.
And I just grew up to know the conversations that went on between himself and then my mother. But in the end, he did not listen to my mother, decided to do his own thing, went, and then it did not work
Turn
out. And then we did not hear from him again till I was... So from that time, we heard, after 7 years, he called us consistently for 2 years, which I was like 9 years. And so from 9 years, I did not hear from him again until HS3. I was like 13 years. Then I'll hear from him once in a while. I remember one time I came back from school, 13 years, as 12 years old or something. My mom says, someone wants to talk to you. And at this point, we have not spoken to this man for over 5 years. Someone wants to talk to you. Who is that? He said, no, you just take the phone. Then I take the phone, and he's the only person that calls me that name. So he mentions the name, and I blacked out. I opened my eyes again, and I couldn't hear from him again until like another week. So I every time I say I will not have kids until I have convinced myself enough not to let them go through what you went through. Yes. My mom does not know or think she has done anything wrong. Because, like, the hell, she's an African woman. I'm never wrong. But she does not know the kind of impact everything she has done.
Here's the thing.
Has on me.
It's here, and perhaps she would never know. I was reading somewhere that no matter what you do or whatever you do, you will traumatize your children. Yeah. And so no matter what you do, so you just have to try in a way to limit it, which in most parents' cases in Africa, they don't even think of that place. Or when like we have things like spare the rod, spoil the child written into our very belief system.
Our blood is in the
yes. Blood. You see,
I have marks on my body my mom gave to me. She said, I'm giving you this so that when you see it,
but
you remember that.
Your mom, it's a different case. So because in fact, if you weren't an adult, we'll be looking into proper child abuse situations.
Yeah.
We'll be looking into proper child abuse situations because it's true. Like everybody as a child, I've been abused before. Like I've been through a situation where I lived with someone and the treatment that she gave me, she probably never saw it as wrong. Yeah. Like I would say, and I'm always the first to say that I wasn't, as a child, I could sense that I was smart, but I wasn't smart like how everybody else was smart. I cared about emotional things, you know, and I cared about flowers or maybe the bird or something, and things that didn't make sense to me, my daily living. I was already worrying about those things. Yeah. But I did not know that to wear socks, to turn it inside out, I could wear it inside out. And I did not know why it was wrong.
Yeah.
Because to me, it did the job.
Yes.
You know, I did not know why it was wrong. And this, my aunt, she was trying to teach me the lesson of why it was wrong. And she beat me over and over and over
I don't
again.
know why it is wrong. And then you won't tell me why it is wrong.
No, to her, how could I be so stupid to
that's the thing.
See?
She said,
I am a child.
Yes, but
I am a freaking child.
Wait, when you're growing up, one thing is that trauma is passed on to you.
Yes.
And once it's passed on to you, you will pass it on because that's the nature of it. So we have to be careful about that.
That is why I said until I think I'm not going to pass on some of the things that I had to.
Someone passed that kind of trauma on to her when she was a child. Like, you have to be smart. How come you don't know this thing?
Buno.
Why don't you know? Why? Because it's a child. The child is the learning thing. So if you ask a child, why don't you know? Why don't you know something that is meant to learn? You understand? It's here to absorb. If you're asking it, why don't you know? It's a stupid question in any way.
But here in Africa, it's...
But they'll beat it into you and ask it to you as a child. And when you grow up, you will ask other children that same question.
Yeah.
It is true.
But where, like, I'm going to always use myself as an example. I'm not going to say that in the next 2, 3, 4 years that I would have a baby, I would be the best mother in the world, right? I'm not saying I will be,
Mm-hmm.
but
2, 3, 4 years there. I don't know.
You have to see, I'm going to be the best father in the world.
Amen.
no reasons why I'm saying I'm not going to be the best mother in the world is looking at myself. Like,
No.
if I'm going to use myself right now, I won't be the best mother in the world because I'm not done dealing with.
With your
own
demons.
traumas.
But do you think that you would ever be done?
No, I won't. But I am pushing myself and preparing myself to get to a place where I think I won't be able to transfer some things. I was a child that at some point I did not want to see human beings because I always wanted to be alone. After the man decided to go, I felt like everybody that would come close to me would leave me. And my mom did not give me that I'm here for you vibe. She gave me the and like, no, my problems are too plenty. Don't become one of it. Already, she's not gonna tell you that she's hurt from what this man has done to her. She's not gonna say it. But then small things. She won't tell you.
Isn't that the African way? We are not trained to speak our hurt.
Yeah.
To speak about
But
our
then,
hurt. We
do you
only
know
express
that
it.
You don't speak your hurt, right? But then, how you treat the next person based on that.
Yes. We just go and act it out.
I didn't have a relationship with my mom until like, let me say a year ago or 2 years ago. Reasons why I ran was I wanted to be on my own. If I was in a home where I felt comfortable, I don't think I would
Want to
run 8 hours from them. 8 hours. Going back to my hometown is like 8 hours drive.
I just went to Takrade. I didn't like
And
it.
I get calls like, when are you coming back? And I don't know. And up till now, I go there and the longest I'll be there is like a week. I'm out.
You just want to leave.
I just want to leave. Because anytime I'm there, all I'm remembering is, I got to a point where I felt I didn't deserve to be there. Okay. I almost did the unthinkable because I was always alone. Packed a bunch of drugs I didn't know what it would do, but I wanted to take them. I don't like taking drugs, and I think that is one of the reasons why up till now I still don't like taking drugs, because I looked at its bunch, it went in and it came out on its own.
So my mother realized she lost me at high school. So you see, high school, we have midterm and then vacation. I am that girl that does not go for midterm, will not go for vacation. And I used to stay with our house mistress. She was a really nice lady. High school became like home for me. So vacations, I'm with her. Midterm, I'm with her. Then my mother was like, why is it that Oma Kwaya, and I'm like, what am I coming to? I'm coming to stay with my sick grandma, or it's either I stay at the pub for her. I don't want that. So that's why I don't want to come. Then she became friends with the lady, the house mistress. Then she told her, I'm always by myself. This and this is the reason why. So if she wants her daughter back, she should find a relationship for me. So that's the thing that happened that made my mother want to talk to me. Yeah. And before I could open up to my mother, she had to tell me things about herself first. Yeah. For me to get to know her, that this is what she is. I always thought my mother was all about the money. And she's very industrious. Like, if it's put the thing on her head and sell it to make ends meet, she would do it.
That's the thing. So now we live in a society where a lot of people do not know their mothers, do not know their parents. They don't.
So it was after high school I got to know my mom.
But then they expect that when you become an adult, you magically have a relationship with them where you guys can sit down and have conversations.
You know, I think parents are most times busy raising children, and they think they do not have the time.
All they all
to
they care, so all
to be
they think is
friends.
important is the fact that I put food on your table, I pay your school fees, I do my I do my responsibilities. I
Because
don't owe you
for
anything
for
else.
for for them, duty, they for them it's they have to do their duty towards you, and their duty towards you is to make sure that you go through this world and are equipped with all the tools that you need to survive on your own.
No, I do understand that,
I-
but know that it is also not an excuse.
No. This is what I'm saying. I'm not excusing them. I'm
Yes.
not saying this. I'm just saying that for them, they think this is a duty. This is what I have to do. She has to. She's seen all the things she's going through, all the pain and hardship she's going through, and straight away she wants to transfer the knowledge to you. She wants to transfer, or they want to transfer the lesson to you so that you don't come and face what they're facing. But in the transfer of that lesson to you, they are transferring their trauma.
Exactly.
Also, the trauma they're facing in that situation right now, they're transferring it to you. The stress and everything, they're transferring it to you, and they don't see that. And I think genuinely, most parents don't see that. And in order to be a good parent, you have to be aware of this so that in the time when you're one day dealing with a child, you can step back and ask yourself the question, what am I not seeing?
Exactly.
What am I not seeing about myself right now in the way I am dealing with this child? So that you could at least find, because children, they grow whilst they're kids, they are your friends, and then by the time they're teenagers, sometimes they're not your friends anymore.
Yes.
And then they become something else. They want to. This is how human beings are wired. When we talk about wired human beings are wired at a certain age to start taking lessons from outside
Yeah.
and following what is going on outside more
Than what's inside.
inside. They will come back to what's inside again. And like you say, you two have made a full circle, whereas now at least you have some sort of relationship with your parents again. Like the thing with my mom was that she was busy raising children, a whole family. She was busy being a matriarch of a whole family, that there wasn't time for her for niceties and oh, I love you and these things.
No, my mother has never
when
said I love you before.
Wait, my mother is nice, but when you wake up in the morning, there is nothing like, and there's nothing like, oh, you say good morning, yes. But you say good morning and just go and do what you have to do. There's no banter and anything. As we were growing, she tried to bring in some sort of morning devotion and everything. But by that time, we had all
You're all gone.
We had all scattered. We had all scattered into our own person, And then some way, somehow, like I left home, went to hang out, like tried to do everything I could to make myself successful and everything. And then it got to the point I was like, damn, I need to see my mother. I need to come back and see my mother, because for whatever reason, I hadn't seen her for a long time. And I was like, I need to come and see her. It was just like a pull from nowhere, almost. But I think this is what I'm naturally wired to do. Like we are not to come back again and make amends, with family, and as children, we will go back and make amends, but parents should. For us, I think that we're more so talking to ourselves rather than talking
to our parents. It's
to our
like
parents,
the
because
things we experience.
we are now at that place where we are ready to be parents, or we are close to being parents. Some of us are parents, are close to being parents. You understand? So this talk is more to ourselves, taking what we've gone through and applying it to ourselves. Like for me, I find it hard to go into my emotions with people. Like I could be the most open person, but at the same time, because of that same openness, the openness is actually a camouflage to
another sector of your inside.
to the real depth of who I am. And it's hard to even push that facade aside, so that even when I want to show somebody like the most vulnerable part of me, that thing has covered me so strongly that it's now, I'm now fighting against myself to move it away.
Someone, I used to have a set of people, they called me Iron Lady.
It's like you're too hard on the
Just
outside.
because, they feel I'm too closed up. I do not allow like anybody. I can do everything on my own. That is how they see me.
Yeah.
Like I don't need help. I can't ask for help.
I feel like you can't help me. Even if I open up to you that much, there would be a point some way, somehow you would betray me or you will leave.
'Cause-
There will be some hurt somewhere. So I will not open up.
I remember going, right? Then I'll go to my mom and be like, oh, I need money for something. And she would drag me just to get, and probably that thing is a necessity. I need it. Drag me. Talk plenty before the money even gets into your hand. So up till now, there's that thing in my head. Let me even be hungry. Very difficult for me to ask because you're going to probably do plenty noise in my
Yes.
And this thing, the difficulty in asking for help, especially real help. It's not just money or anything, but
like
but
even real
for
help.
real help. Sometimes the help you need is for someone to actually speak to you and get into your mind so that you can get over yourself. And you can't even be open enough to give yourself away for anybody to offer you that kind of help. Sometimes you're going through, like me, for me, I would say half of all the hardship I went through was me just trying to do certain thing by myself when
You could have asked for help.
the help was just
there.
sitting right there waiting.
When you come from a home where the only time where them go, you go see food for house. Because when I was growing up, my house really now we no get. So the only time we dey cook be Sundays. And the Sundays, so I was used to like, oh, we seek out the better in here. We seek out the better in. So I'll go to school, I'll come back home, money for food, maybe 2 cities there. That's why I was young. So 2 cities, I'll go and buy. And I had this favorite eba place. I'll go and buy eba. One was to 1 city. Then she'll give me 2. Then she will give me stew and sometimes me lucky I will it be all mommy stew now will it be and whole style that day no. But like this be what I'm used to. I'll go 2 city come buy much, but I would that be water for live on. And I live with my stepmom and her people, and my stepmom she be hustler. She wake up early in the morning, go to work.
It's like they're crap people. It's the same thing.
Wake up in the morning, go to work, come back when we are all in bed, leave early in the morning again.
So you barely saw her.
So mostly that you only see her on Sundays. And the Sunday she works on Sundays, but she doesn't leave home early. And this be the things I was used to for a very long time. Like we go, there is never food at home. But you see, when I got to GHS, I started visiting friends in their house. And when you go to their house, when you open their fridge, there is something to eat at that very like, always when they go to the kitchen, there's something there. And me must said, we don't get nothing like kitchen, it be porch where we load things for there, where me at the bed there, cooking utensils and everything. So I know they see. So when I follow my friends, one time my girlfriend be Joshua, we go to my house. See the reason why me and Joshua they run from school most of the time. When French teacher come class out, when you do French, when you not do your homework,
Damn, I hated French.
he go sack you from class. So deliberately,
You go do the homework.
So when he come, he go sack. When he sack, we went to when I get man for school or boy, when a guy, JHS, so we go sort them out. The reason why they force Joshua
You want to
go
go and chop.
Joshua house, you go a rice bag there, or your 1 bag there, shit one big. You see that my dream, this thing there, the my dream bucket, the full name of shit up with sardines, starkins. Like it looks like
The old days were good, oh.
like no, it looks that thing. It looks like hey.
Heaven.
For me, but
Yeah.
Joshua, I didn't know for like this
Yeah,
be
you
every
grew
day
up
life.
like that.
So when I love to go to Joshua's house. So imagine if like these small things they pull me. You think say if some bad thing be there to
So
me,
you be the reason Joshua never learned French. Sake of the chore you want chore for your house.
I know they like French.
Joshua,
You change somebody in destiny.
but you know, Joshua, when we go with me at the fight for the rice then he get guess for them.
Again, what?
Who girls? Like
Hey,
some girls,
Joshua.
where they do things.
We need to look for you, Joshua.
See, I've been looking for Joshua for like 10 years. This.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I don't know where nigga pass. From TikTok to Instagram to Facebook, everywhere. The last time I did a story on
Joshua,
TikTok,
show up.
I did a
Joshua,
story-
we are looking for you,
I did a
please.
story on TikTok and I'm like, Charlie, I'm looking for this guy
Yeah.
because I felt I get numbers. So
You go feel,
if somebody will say, "Oh, I know
I
where
know
he is,"
Joshua.
but like,
but
still,
you have his surname,
yeah, Joshua Kumsin.
Joshua Kumsin.
Please, Joshua comes in wherever you are. Oakley is looking for you.
Yeah.
Matthew
Yeah,
Williams
so-
Amate.
Yeah, Joshua, I'm looking for wherever. So I mean, if you be young way, like things like food, go feed, push you
yeah.
not to stay in class. Can you imagine if something way to where we go feel say it be better than food, where you go make you go still, or you go make you go into drugs, you go do something. I mean, understand?
Yes, I do.
It go feel push you simple
Yes.
into so sometimes to when our people, we say I understand say some no day, but small things like food
Cooking
being
in the
available
house.
all the time, we should try. and
Me,
do
I am saying this conversation, yes, we're talking to those who were responsible for us, but in the end, we're talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're talking to those who are in our age group who have children now. To now like really like take this extra step of looking into themselves.
Yes.
And how they, because in Ghana there's too much, this is how I saw it, and so that's how it will be done.
Yes.
There's too much of that.
Transfer of trauma.
It's been done for so long. This is how it was, and so this is how
should
this is how it
be.
should be.
My brain and my
yes.
Tutu bebre.
Like, and then there's this thing I saw Oyeripa. Oyeripa.
You saw my video.
Oyeripa.
What
There was a
happened?
small girl that went to Oyeripa and then was talking to Antenna about how her father will push her. There's a blogger from UK that will come to
Charlie, I
Ghana.
saw that video.
And then the father would push her to the man. Now the man has a very big broncos, and this is a teen. And
She's like 15 or 16.
if the man tries to penetrate her and it doesn't
painful.
go through, he will push and still penetrate her. When she comes home and she says, Okacha and Papa said she told her that yo, this thing it's painful. I can't do it again. The man said, when you come back, we'll put you
On
on
a
a
hot-
bucket. Warm
And
water.
you know what the father tell the girl say, oh, even me know mommy that cry, yo, or so pre-printy, normal.
And this man is doing this so that the child will bring home
Home
money.
money.
And these men, they
And
disgust
see,
me.
listen to the worst part of it.
There's a worst part.
Yes, this man, when the girl goes there and the man said, then she says, no, I won't do it again. Everything that the man gives to her will take everything back. Now imagine this girl is sick on campus. Then she takes Eziat, talks to her dad, they get an Eziat for her to come home, just for the father to send the girl.
To the
the
man.
man.
And oh my God.
And
So
you know
a
what?
child like this.
And you know what will kill you, cry? The girl, because of the pain, she know they like to go the man in there. And the bugger's house is right opposite her father's house. And the father, when the bugger brings another woman, then the father will call her.
So
Be sure
because
about
of
time,
you.
be sure baby or wakofana ba.
So you are devaluing your child.
Be sure baby or wakofana ba.
the man has
He has mental problems. Me, I think
no, he
he
doesn't
does.
have any mental problem. He just has no value for his child.
Where's the
Just
child's mom?
imagine what this girl.
The child, that child is going through hell.
girl is-
The man, that's an underage girl, isn't it? She's not 16 years.
She said she one time asked her dad.
It's still what statutory rape,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
She asked her dad that, am I your child?
Hey,
If it was Oyemba, like if I was your own child,
would you be
you
doing
allow
this to
someone
me?
So it's not the real
it
child.
says
Real
real daughter,
Biological.
biological.
Some men.
We have not gotten the opportunity to talk to our parents about sex. I'm not sure you've
When a girl
But
like
you've-
this, when a girl like this turns gay,
like
who will complain? Like, this is not even me saying that being gay is good, but a lot of the reasons why some people would decide to.
But
be
it,
like this,
it
like
shouldn't be the that's besides the point.
That's
like,
besides the point.
But the point here is two men, adult men, come together, consent to taking a life of a young woman and totally destroying it for their own personal gains. For their own personal gains. And
Yeah.
it only makes it more tragic that one is the father. But you see, this man, he's grown up in a situation, he's grown up in a lot of men grow up in places where women are not respected and where their mothers were not respected and where their mothers actually subscribe to that disrespect and take it and want it and actually like say it to other women. There are women who say other things to other women that when you hear it, you're like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? The ignorance in certain communities, it's so much that this kind of thing can happen. Like every time when I hear things like this, I look back at my life and I'm like, for every reason when I have felt like, oh, I was going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I've not seen anything.
I really wasn't.
Somebody's
I really wasn't because Oakley is talking about food and where like I grew up with my mom driving off to the bank in the morning. That's what I saw. So for me, it's always like I've always had this thing in my mind about women
Yeah.
that they are achievers. Women can do.
Yeah.
So I'm always very, very, very respectful. At least I try most of the time to be very, very, very respectful. And it's not coming from a place like, oh, I'm faking it or I'm trying to be. I am.
You've seen it.
I've just seen it, and I've seen it. When I was in high school, my aunties were my cousins. They were my angels. Like you come from school, you stay in the house, you wait for like 1 week before school, and then you go to this cousin and be like, oh, I'm coming to help you do this thing. She knows why you're here.
Yeah.
She knows that you're not coming to help her do anything. Like she's been doing it. In the end, you want something, but you have to show something to show that, you know. And then, oh, okay, you're going to school. Yes, I'm going to school. Okay, here, papa. They count some money, take. And then that's the money that I'll go take it to the market and go and buy my shito stuff and come and make my shito in the house and buy my provisions and take it. So I've come from that place with women already where I have such great respect for them. And for some reason, I also learned a lot about sexuality and all of.
I didn't get to learn sexuality from my parents. No, it's not supposed to be talked about. You cannot talk about
You
it.
can't talk about.
Can't talk about that.
Well, I don't know. We never spoke about sex. See, the very first time my mom and I spoke about sex was like in my adult years now, and she was talking about her sexual experience. She's not getting what she wants now. So because I'm at the pharmacy, what do I think she should take? That is how
Not getting what us and how.
she.
Wow. Did you know?
Hey, why will I say
bravery
it
took
here?
for her to tell you that?
Swear.
So that was the only time I've ever heard my mother say anything about sex. So there has never been an instance where my mother and I will talk about reproductive health. No, we have not talked about some before.
If not for the fact that my mom has given birth to 2 children, I would still think my mother is a virgin.
So there has not
So
been
it's
a
just you and your
point.
sister.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There has never been a point where we have spoke about sexuality, but now she talks about when are you getting married? When is this person coming?
But
and
when you were young, they'll tell you that don't go close to
when
this.
when I had my first kiss, I went to tell my mother about it. The first thing she told me is my mouth is swollen. I should go and look in the mirror. This thing has made my mouth very big. And I was so scared. And I was so scared. I went to pick a mirror to check my lips. Is it big? And I went to show her where. Then she'll be pointing. And it was
How old were you?
I was 13.
Really? She got you with that at 13.
She got me with that at 13. And I went to tell the boy in school that
she didn't know anything.
I went to tell the boy in school that my mother said my mouth will swell in 3 days. If my mouth swell in 3 days, I'll go and tell the headmaster.
Oh wow.
So sexuality in African homes, like we don't talk about it. It's a taboo. But right now they are looking for us to find the men. I don't know if they plug the men on the street for us, and then we'll go and get them.
Being me, fortunately and unfortunately, or how do I say it? I grew up in an era where, or it's the same era that you all grew up, where technology was coming up really fast, and it overtook us. I can quite remember the first time I heard of a phone with TV, because those were the ones that came first from China.
Yeah,
I remember
A
those.
TV phone, and I couldn't believe
You could watch
because
GTV on it.
Because already the phones had just started coming in, and they had started getting smaller, and I was shocked at how smaller they were getting.
Yeah.
And then I heard there was a phone that you can watch TV. And it was at, I think at Newtown, Kokomlemle somewhere, that I saw someone with this blue thing with a long antenna watching something. I was like shocked that I was seeing something like that. And from that time, I think I was in
what year do you think that would be?
I was in class 6 or something. So
If you can say the year, then I can.
Acha.
class 6,
Oh,
1999.
come on.
Papa.
Come on.
Yeah, you
We
did
did
class
not-
6, 1999.
I think I went to JSS in 2000.
You went to JJ.
Hey,
And the aquan when you
I finished JHS. I finished when you were talking about you being in class 6 in 2005. I was finished.
no. I did class 6.
JSS.
I finished GHS 2006.
Hey, what are these people saying?
So class 5, class 6, I should, it would be like 2006, 2005, 2004. Like 2004, 2004.
But you see, I finished. When you were finishing JHS, I had already finished SSS
You finished SS which
in
year?
2005.
Hey,
I don't be
But
like 36
please.
or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
The way you are describing it, we
you it's okay. We don't want we continue next. Next.
So you
But I say
guys.
be handsome man, that way.
Very fresh boy.
So
That way thinks they be some young dude.
Put some respect on the name.
I. Oh, you think I'm? You guys. I look.
Yeah,
young.
not Diego.
That's how I mean.
Oh.
Say, please.
So what was I? Yes, in the time when I was like the exposure and the way things were changing around me. By the time I got to JSS, I was already like straight up introduced to sex already. But my introduction to sex was through porn.
I was going to say that a lot of people in Africa here, their introduction to sex was porn.
I feel like because of that, they have made sex overrated.
Was an elderly woman who pulled my tins.
How old were you?
I was like I was like,
Has been molested.
I was
Yeah, they have raped you.
12, I was like 14.
They have raped you.
but for
Bro,
Hey, how old was the woman?
the woman, she was married though, and
Hey, you've been molested.
she was
nigga.
married and she was
You have
like,
been
she would
raped.
be like 38, 39.
yeah.
But you know what? I wanted her to do that.
No.
to me all the time.
You were groomed.
No, you see,
groomed.
the fact that yes,
But it was wrong, of course.
no, it's not about it. The fact that you wanting it was right. Why wouldn't you want it? She is a fully grown adult who understands what she is
better.
doing.
Yeah.
The fact that you wanted more of it, but you see, this is the
Wow.
thing with molesting
People have
and
stress.
abuse and rape. When people are like abused this way, they feel guilty because they also
Enjoyed.
enjoyed and participated. So they feel like, oh, I wanted it. So no, at that stage where you were part of it,
You were
you
groomed,
weren't
Charlie.
you weren't ready. Not to say you weren't ready, but
No, I kind of get where you're going.
So that
it wasn't right.
So that happened. So you see how bad company was. So after that thing happened to me,
but bro, can we just pause to just say, like, is it a coincidence that we all have such traumatic experiences, or
Yeah.
is it the norm?
it's not a
In
it's
my
not a
first
norm
experience with
because-
sex, I don't like talking about it.
because it's not a cool thing, and a lot of us went through.
No,
this.
I think a lot of people go through these things. They don't talk.
Yeah,
They don't talk.
you don't talk because society have made it look like. I mean, if you talk about it, first thing they will say, "We are money."
Yo, teach your children these things so that nobody will just go and do them anything.
When they
Most of the
wanted to
things
come
I
and teach
know
the
are-
sexual
they
education
they
in the
said they're coming
schools,
to make it.
people were saying that, oh, they're coming to teach LGBT, they're coming to do this.
Sex
do this.
education
they-
is very,
and
very
so
important.
and so they cut it and they said, oh no, they won't teach this in school. No, your children will learn about sex
somewhere else.
somewhere else, and they will learn all the wrong
bad
things.
things.
Let me tell you.
Most of the wrong things you learned in high school weren't it after prep in the nights when we are doing girls talk.
Yes.
There are so many things we learned from there.
See, I took my daughter to school first term, and they were in the school for 3 weeks. I went after. I think they went on a break or something. I went to pick her up, and she told me that they sacked the girls. They are twins, 2 girls. They are twins, and a teacher went to see them in a class sleeping with 2 boys.
Damn.
The twins, these 2 girls, they were sleeping with 2. Just 3 weeks leaving home.
Wow.
They couldn't stay in the school for more than 1 month to just wait and go back home and go and do it. You can tell that they've been doing this. How did they this escape their parents?
Bro. So they sacked the kids.
Yeah, they
Yes.
sacked
It
them.
was crazy. That's
Obesa Koye Bium, like
You
you will
see,
not stop.
Kids. I'd rather catch kids doing this thing and then
Explain.
Educate them
and then
right.
educate them, give them some sort of, because what they're doing, because it's against school guidelines, and they're doing it in the classroom, then punish them accordingly to that kind of thing. But then make sure they go away with the education, because they need the education.
You
That's very
sucking them
true.
does not change the fact
Because
that
they
they'll
need
go and
it.
find another boy in one corner
when
and still do
when
it.
we were in school, they sucked, like me when I was in school, I was timid, so I didn't. But they suck a lot of girls who back then I used to think, hey, these girls they are small too. Hey, the things they say they are doing. I was part of those boys doing it, but all those girls, the things they were doing were, it's just it's normal.
Around that age,
It's around that age is what boys and girls do.
yeah.
If they are exploring
They're
among,
always horny.
even
No,
if
it's not horny.
it's-
At that age, it's not.
Okay, the
At
teens,
that age,
eh,
it's just being curious.
they're curious, and the boys to sometimes they're always
It's just
horny.
being curious and wanting to
they're
explore.
no, I can say for myself, we are not always horny. They're just curious,
Yeah.
and
and just want to explore.
our impulses, it's hard to control all the impulses because your brain is not formed
Formed.
fully.
Fully
It's
formed,
something
so,
that is
yeah.
now coming up. So you're literally growing new synapses for
Yeah.
these kind of feelings that you're having. But I am telling you, the kind of education that we don't give,
Mr. Della.
the kind of education that we don't give, your kids will go and find it somewhere
They'll
else.
find it somewhere, and when they go there, they won't find the right things.
Most of the things I know about sex is from high school. The things I heard. And I want to
And
try.
some of them can be like some of the look. I had a friend when I hadn't had sex before. He told me, and I thought about this thing. This is a funny story. He told me, look, this JSS, so we are kids, and this girl has a girlfriend. Me, I don't have a girlfriend. He's telling me, if you're with a girl, and you're making out with her, you have to put your hand on the back of her neck and draw it all the way down.
So,
To-
you do it.
What does
wait,
Okay, continue.
wait to the back, like to the arch of her back, and then right when you get to her like a spine, you just open it up and it does something to them. And I was like, what?
See, a friend of mine told me that.
Do you know how long I believed that thing?
She went to a girls' school and she was like, most of the time when she meets with him, when her friends flip the wall and go to town and come back, they talk about orgasm and
Yeah.
how and they always say these things. First year they were saying these things. Second year they were saying, and the way they exaggerate it and the way they make you feel. There was this guy who liked her for a very long time. She thought, okay, let me go and
Allow
try.
him to.
Then she went. They had sex. The first time was painful. Spoke to her friends, and the friends were like, "Oh, it's because it's your first time." She did it again. She said the penetration was nice and everything, but that thing they are talking about,
Yeah,
Like-
felt
uh,
it.
so, but the girls kept saying, "Keep doing it. It will come. The more you do it." So now she was flipping what she would jump and do everything just
You
to go
see?
and take the dick.
So
Come
if
back and she will not feel that thing.
So if-
can you imagine if
a mother sat her down
Down.
to tell her
This is how it
the
is.
right things.
No, even if you see, what she didn't know is that all women are different. All women have different form of pleasure. She was probably even
Exactly.
sleeping with a guy who took no
No
care
care-
about her
exactly
pleasure or
how she
anything.
would feel.
And she didn't know anything about her pleasure. She just like even for that. But can we just talk about how teenagers can hype things among themselves?
Yeah.
See,
Brenda.
unnecessary hyping.
Brenda.
Some of the things that I have chased in my life up
Your
until I
own
was
is
like,
funny, from Agama lizard to
was
doing
because
them
of, was because of what my friends told me, like some of the things they said and how the way it was. You see, I waited a long time before having sex, and so I drew all of my experiences from what people were telling me,
and you were expecting so
and-
much too.
and it wasn't as much as what I was expecting. It was what I did not think I was, because I started watching porn, and the first porn I was introduced to was maybe black men and everything. And the black men who I was seeing in the porn videos, their penises were freaking huge. And if I looked at my penis, I was like, what is this? Am I a joke?
Sorry.
Am I a joke to myself?
Sorry.
No. Look, a lot of guys will know, but I can tell you from my trauma that
Yes.
I don't have a porn star's dick.
Yes.
But that is where those are the first dicks that I saw. And the first women that I saw and the way they acted,
You
there was
expecting-
no girl around in my age group who could act that way.
What is?
There was no girl in my age group that
Wait.
could act that way. So
She has to explain what this is. What's
The
that?
girls that when they are coming to do their pointers and they are doing sexy.
yeah,
Touch.
can you imagine? There was
You were expecting a 30 or 50-year-old girl to come and be doing that?
there's no so I wasn't attracted to any of my age group people, and for me, I think that affected affected how um, I was as a person.
Yeah.
And even though I did not, one time, even as I was growing, I think I was 18, 19, and I did not, I hadn't brought a girl home or anything and everything. And then my auntie called me once and she was like, "Are you gay?"
My mother has asked me
Like
that.
female tendency.
I don't know whether, but I have a lot of females in the house. It's
Okay.
not about having female tendencies, but I hadn't brought
A girl
a
home.
girl home or anything. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
There was a norm around the area seeing like
Here's
men
the thing.
around your age.
The girls I was looking at were in porn videos.
Oh.
The girls that I was seeing, they couldn't measure up. They couldn't measure up. You understand? Like I was waiting to blow in my as a person, as a musician, like all the time I was like, I'm gonna write songs, I'm gonna blow, and then I'm gonna get rich, and I'm gonna travel out of this country, and I'm
Get
gonna
the
be
porn
with,
star girls.
no, I'm gonna be with this
Girls.
perfect,
Yes.
beautiful girls. I'm not going to. So it's not as if I wasn't. I just wasn't looking at.
No, the porn stars are not like
I
that.
just wasn't looking at every you know, and it's a problematic thing
Yeah.
to grow up that way. And I wish I had someone to talk me through that. Everything that I learned in my adult age, I had to unlearn
Learn, yeah.
again. And I'm slowly still unlearning things about myself and learning to appreciate myself, you know, and learning to like, oh, I am okay. I don't need to have like even the myth of, oh, as an African man, you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to. I turn my attention more towards understanding how I am feeling in the moment with the person I am,
Yeah.
and understanding how the person is feeling in the moment, and actually giving off myself and giving love and receiving it back. That is where my attention is, what sexually as a person.
Yeah, so for me, what I think about the whole porn situation and then how men learn or what they learn from porn, and then for me, I think because of how they learn about sex, they don't think about the pleasure of women, right? Because
They only think about
yes,
them.
all they think about or what they've seen in the porn videos is the guys bang, 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 and then they come. And
Because
that's
they don't even show the guy's face most of the time. They just show
Yes.
half, and then it's just full frontal. and
all
you're
they
just-
need from a woman is for her to actually feel that she's being pounded, so she needs to move.
Yes.
And that morning thing is a lie. Oh.
I remember the first time I saw porn, it was disgusting for me. Very disgusting. I just saw it like this. I felt disgusted and then I stopped. And the next time I watched porn, I was 20 years. And I'm talking about 6 years down the line. You
Well, good
understand?
for me. My neighborhood, we used to carry the porn in a sack. It was in a sack, in a VHS sack, like VHS cassette, the big ones. We used to carry them in a sack and carry them from a friend's house to this friend's house.
Then you watch it in groups or something.
Yes.
Seriously.
I didn't get that.
It was disgusting for me, frankly speaking.
For some people, it's this guy.
Up till now, Christ, still
Most of the
disgusting.
things I've watched is like somebody's own will leak on Snapchat, that is what I would determine as porn. But the one that you people are talking about with cassette and all that,
yeah.
nah. Like watching somebody's own as leaked and it's on Snapchat, you pounce on it. That
all
one.
All we're basically just talking about is the fact that when it comes to sex education, our parents did not help us.
At all. No.
And so I don't expect them to, now that we are grown-ups, think that we can just, especially when it comes to boyfriend-girlfriend situation, they tell you that don't even try getting close to a man. They are, no,
If you get close to a man, your life will spoil.
well, whatever. And then when you're 24,
25.
25,
He
they start
expects you.
asking
My uncle told my
you
mom
see
to
him.
tell me that it's time for me to bring a man home.
Who
And
are
the
you
last
seeing?
time he spoke to me, he asked me,
As if that is your life's purpose.
how is your husband?
As if that's your life.
Like,
It is time to bring a man
You
home.
expect me to.
It is
control.
time to bring a man home.
It's
By
like,
Shakespeare.
it is time to bring.
Like
a man.
I'm at the age where
It
I
is
need to give
time
birth. If I give birth
for
by
you
this
to
time,
live
I'll be
your
okay.
purpose. It is time.
It's like they have made the purpose of womanhood is like you grow up, you get married, have kids, and
Yeah.
that's the life.
So you don't expect me to conjure boyfriend right now, since
Right
being
now,
close to them will destroy my life. So yeah, but then all jokes aside, all these things that were put in our heads, one way or the other, makes us make certain. See, right now in our generation, there's nothing like forever. Like
I'm with you
there's-
till it's
there's
over.
nothing like till what you call
Till
it?
death do us part.
Happily ever after. You can
For where?
count. You can count when 10 people are like 10 couples are there. You can literally count like the
Happily ever after people.
in there.
I mean, happily ever after is what you make it.
Well,
It's what you make it.
at some
See,
point,
if some people can throw back their parents and say, look, my parents stayed together and they went through thick and thin, and look, it's because back in those days the women, they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
of
So,
where-
bro, can we say, sir, a lot of us are scared of commitments because we didn't see it
Yeah.
growing up. We didn't see
Yeah.
it like it wasn't a norm to us because in our like in the house that I lived in, a lot of marriages crashed and
I don't think more so it's it being scared. It's you not having the basic skills. You've not seen it. You see, as a child, that's how we learn. We learn by sight. That's why our sight is very important to us. And hearing and all of these things. It's things you're born into this world with that allows you to soak in the world.
yeah.
And when you come, you see certain things, and just by seeing them, you're downloading them into your system,
Of course.
and then you act them out.
Mm-hmm.
If you've not seen it consistently in your life,
Yeah.
It's very difficult. For you
it
to
is
replicate
difficult
it.
for you to replicate it sometimes. But in the end, life is also a choice.
Mhm.
And so you can make the choice for yourself to say that even though I have not seen this, I want to live it
But you
for
see,
myself. And you have to be intentional and also be real with yourself about it and
and
say that
also be ready to um accept, some of the things that happens, or be ready to heal from the whole thing about you being scared it's not going to, work. Heal from it, because if you're coming from a home where, me like this, that I feel like people walk away from me all the time. Like, you won't stay because what? The first person that I trusted walked away. So what?
yes.
So what?
but-
You are not going to stay. So then, if you're able to heal from that, so you need to first heal before you look at
I-
being real, being this, being that.
I think you have to make peace with the fact that whether someone stays or leaves, it is not necessarily your fault.
Yeah. True.
Because for some, as a child, if you're looking for your father and you can't find your father, and there is no reason at all why your father should leave, the only explanation it falls is that you did something. You did something. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Why would your father
You
leave
didn't
you?
think I was
If there was something,
worthy enough for you to
yes,
stay.
and if he doesn't think I'm worthy enough to stay, am I really worthy enough? You understand? So in the end, I think it's more about you accepting that whether someone stays or leaves has nothing to do
With
with
you.
your worth. You're worth it anyway. And once you bring yourself to that place,
Yeah.
for me, here's the thing. I've always, as a child, I've always run away from embarrassment. I've always run away from things that will put me in the limelight, and then people will say something about me. So I always want to be right.
Yeah.
I always want to do the right thing at
I
all
think
the time.
I still have that
Because-
problem.
because you're praised for the right thing all the
Yes.
time. You understand?
I think I still have that problem. I want to be right. Don't talk bad about me.
But I found out that in my darkest moments, in the times when I couldn't do anything about it anymore, there, as it will be said, the proverbial shit hit the fan. I realized it brought me so much freedom. I did not have to act anymore. I did not have to pretend to be in a world that wasn't my world anymore. And in so doing, I was able to create a new world for myself where I felt comfortable with where I was going or where I was. There was a time, I was so ashamed of myself for nothing. Like, and I wanted to make something of myself. And I thought of myself like, I should have done this by now, I should have done that. I was like, but wait a minute, for who? For who? For who? For who? Everything is for me, for myself. So if I'm doing it for if I'm going to do it for myself, then I'm going to do it for my own, with my own pace. You understand? I'm not going to try and do things that should benefit me so that it looks nice in people's eyes. I don't want my own good. I don't want good because I only wanted good for myself because it will look nice for other people.
Yeah.
I did not want good for myself because it was
Think-
good for me.
Yeah, true.
I wanted to be a star or something, not because of myself. It was because I would be validated amongst people. And that is the thing. That's the thing that I've come full circle around, and I've like, no, I can't live my life. I can't live my life that way.
Okay, so let me ask this, and this is like to everyone. Every time, some people try to compare how we are raised here and how, the Europeans raise their children. And in the end, they say because of the way they raise us, that is why a lot of the times we are correct than the children up there. If you get where I'm going, in terms of character, hard work and all those things, they claim those there they don't really like to work hard because of how they are raised. Akwala enye bone there. If you touch your child, you're going to prison. But here, I can touch you anyhow.
You see,
And that has turned you into a strong, hardworking person.
um, you see, I get that your mother. Well, I can't say anything to how your mother trained you, but yes, what you raised was that the parents say that, oh, the kids who are raised abroad, they are almost say,
Yeah.
and so it's better to raise them here. Here's the thing, I think. So you have an African parent or an African who has been raised here, has been beaten, gone through all the normal training methods of
Being raised as an African
as being
child.
raised as an African child, goes to America or travels to the Europe, anywhere, has children there, and now the only way she knows how to raise her children, she can't use it.
Mhm.
She can't use it because
If you
the
try it,
laws
you will go to
don't
jail.
allow it. It is not that there is not a good way to raise a child. There's not another way. The way she knows, she can't use it. So of course, her child to her is going wayward because she can't use the methods that, yes. But if you take and we like to sit here in Africa and be like, oh, it's the lifestyle in the West is worse and that. Yes, sometimes, and and everything. But the huge but is, if you compare there to here, you can see that still they are living
A good life.
a good life.
Yes.
And we are here in this
Suffering.
suffering.
That's true.
Like here, still there are parents who are raising their children, who have never beaten their children before, and yet their children have gone to university.
Yeah.
They've become doctors, lawyers. They've never beaten their children.
Of course,
There's
of
a
course.
lot,
But
loads.
then you stay in this country
And
and
it's
be
not
beaten
to
and you end up
and it's not to say that those kids haven't done bad things
Bad
before.
They have.
But
They take and clean their things and carry it.
yes, but they've come to find out that there are ways that you can pass on
child.
knowledge to a child. It's not even punished. Like you see,
Lately, you reason with children.
if the education of a child is always coming from a reactionary place whereby you punish when they do something,
Yes.
then always you they do something bad and then always you'll be correcting.
And you know what's funny? I feel like our African parents, when you do good things, they don't appreciate that you are
Yeah, I've never heard
but
my.
then do a bad thing. So they always make you feel like just you did this world today. You are the most dumbest. You can never do anything good.
I mean, the kind of words your mother or your father can use on you when, like,
Verbal abuse.
I will use my dad and my little sister as an example. So my sister they gave birth to my sister in Turkey, shipped her to Ghana when she was 6 months. My dad lives out there for so many years. Came back, my sister was like, I think my sister was like 13 when he came to Ghana, or 13 or 12 when he came to Ghana. And you've lived out there for so long, okay, and you want to use the same way you raise kids way back then.
To do it
today.
now.
And it is hey, don't this. And today, my kid sister, my dad is the last person she wants to see in his life. Like she does wherever my dad is, she wants to stay far away from
Wow,
him.
sure.
And it is very, very sad. I don't think that's
do all these things
I don't
and
think
you still
that's a
expect
way
the
to
person to be close
yeah, I
to
don't
you.
think that's a way
It's not
to
happening.
raise kids.
This is what I am saying. Like adults, we forget that children will do stuff. Children will do dumb stuff. Even we as adults do
We do
dumb
dumb
stuff.
Because they are kids.
But kids will do dumb stuff because that's how they learn.
Yeah.
And you see, for some of us also, we didn't do certain things not because we didn't want to, but because we were too scared to.
Some of us too, we didn't know.
And being scared to do something so much, it sometimes it cripples you in adult life when you want to do other things.
Yes,
When you want to venture into places that you haven't been before,
You are so
it's so hard. You're so scared
Like I'm like, what will my mother say
because
your mother.
if
the
my mother
repercussion-
finds it? What will she do?
the repercussion of it alone. The repercussion of it alone. Like I didn't grow up with my dad around because with my mom, my biological mom not around, and me staying with my aunt. Let's just say my dad and my aunt did not have the best of relationships. Quite so because my dad wasn't pulling all of his weight in the department of taking care of us. And I don't doubt that my dad loved us, but he just didn't do much. And in the times when he did something, when he came to see us, he wouldn't come to the house. Because you see, the life that my aunt took us from and put us in was quite from a very, very, like, I wouldn't say low class for what it is, but I live in Labadi now and I see the problems with the neighborhood. You understand? And I know where I grew up in. I'm coming from a gated, like, neighborhood where there's streets, like everything is just
Solid.
everything is just solid. So flower pots in my house and everything. You wake up, you know how to take care of flowers and everything. So this is the mentality. The kids around and the next education is our, as much as we were doing other things, schooling was also a very big part of the competition amongst us and
Yeah.
getting good grades and all of these things. These were the things that were competition amongst us, you know. So where my mom took me from and where my dad was, there was such a huge difference. When my dad came to visit us, he didn't even have the guts to come to the house. He would go and stand somewhere far away and they'll come and call us.
Wow.
And we had to sneak
To go and see him.
and go and see him. And he'll be like, hey, Kananye, if they see you people, you know what? You know, nothing would have happened, but the fear alone.
Yeah.
Do you know the fear alone of having to go and see your dad? When I was, and this was having to see him, I could only see him like once a year or something, or twice a year. In all my growing up, I developed and created an alter ego, like a different father for myself, who was a military man and was, yes, I was a very creative person, even as a child. My imagination was really, right now I've dulled my imagination, but as a child, my imagination was crazy. I created a whole new human being for myself because to deal. And that's who I told people my father was. My father is a soldier. He's fighting in Lebanon or something or blah, blah, blah. And I had the image of him in my head. You understand?
Yeah.
And I believed it. I internalized this person. So here is me, a young boy. My mind still knows that I am lying to myself. And I have a father, but I'm still actively denying it to myself. So this, as a child, I'm already going through a mental problem situation,
Yeah.
which no one, even I, cannot understand. I can't understand it. I don't even know that I'm going through it. I don't even know how to express it to somebody, but it shows up in everything. I am timid. You understand? I can't do other things. I'm bullied. I end up bullying my little cousin in the house. That turns him into someone and is held on to that pain. And whilst I had the chance to change and heal myself, he, for some reason, is taking much longer to heal himself from that pain. So every time, he's a very reactive person with everybody around him sometimes. When he feels like you want to harm him or disrespect him or something, he's very, very reactive. So sometimes you have to watch the way you're talking to him. You understand? But these are the things we grow up with. And parents don't see this. When I was in high school, I used to run away from high school and go to my dad. Because at that time, I wanted to develop a relationship with him.
Yeah.
And my dad lived in this kiosk where my dad is a really, really talented tailor, amazing tailor. When the only time he sold me clothes, he sold me a white shirt and bought me a khaki top. But the white shirt, everybody asked me, where did you get this shirt from? I said, my father sold it. It was the proudest moment of my life with him. But I'm saying this to say that I went to visit my dad. I went to visit my dad at home, and I wanted to stay with him to form a relationship. And it was some of the scariest moments in my life. One of the scariest moments in my life, because if I was ever caught, already that I'd run away from school. And for this thing to get, look, as a child to go through this, I used to be at school and my dad would be like, oh, I'll come and visit you on this day. I'll bring you this. And I would come and sit down and wait. And wait. And wait. And I have this thing, I'm a very impatient person. So in order to give myself patience whilst I'm waiting, I'll start counting. I'll start telling myself something. I'll say, oh, let me throw these stones. Let me take this 100 stones. I'm throwing it.
And
by the time I
you're
finish,
done, he's there.
I will do it. By the time I'm done, he's not there. I will count this by the time and then the sun will come down and there'll be tears in my eyes. And there'll be tears in my eyes and I'm like, I'm not crying for this man. It's like, hey. And in all I was like, I will do it back to him. It will shock him.
And do you know that feeling? I'll do it back to him. It will after you have done it, and you are not still satisfied.
Hey,
You're not still settled. You feel like the kind of pain this person has given
I
me,
had to go through
you have to feel the same thing.
I had to go through a whole healing system with my dad these past 3 years because he became sicker and sicker. Like, and now, as he was becoming sicker, he couldn't also ask for our help too much because he knew.
He didn't really.
You see, my dad was looking for things for us from other places. He was very, very much, we come from the royal family, the Osu royal family. That's where he comes from. And he was very much close to the king then. He was actually the Ochame for the king. So he was looking for, way there so that he will be given something. When he's giving something, he can give it to us. He got nothing from that.
But then you see, if he had used that time to spend with you, that is what I say. Oh no, I'm not crying. I yawned. That is what I say, that they think we care about what they are bringing. No, it's you I care about.
This to me is what I say that I have to say to myself all the time. Sometimes I am like, even with my wife, if I can't do something for her or be some way for her, then I become closed off. But no, she wants me.
Yeah.
And I have to realize myself that that trauma that I hated, it's been passed on to me.
Yes.
And if I don't take care, I will pass it on to the people around me.
around
And this
you.
is why I say that when I have my children, I'm going to be the best dad. Because I'm that is my life goal, to have my children and be there.
Yeah.
To have my children and be there.
There's this aspect we are forgetting. Our parents do not teach us how other people react to certain things.
Okay, can we still go on?
I was brought up in a way that if I don't do this thing to you, you are not supposed to do the same thing to me. So up until recently, in my brain, I have to do the right things to people so that they don't do wrong things to me.
They will.
And I did not understand that from my
Not the fact that you are doing it
right.
And
This
that is
person,
registered in everywhere.
like in every single person's mind, is like the fact that I'm doing something right. This person is supposed to give me
It's right.
something right.
Can I just say, not in a stereotypical way,
Yeah.
or tribalistic way, but this is an Ewe thing. Like, if you meet an Ewe person,
There's a principle.
they are like this.
Do this
I
for
will
me.
not do this to you.
Don't do this to me.
I am telling you.
It is very simple. So
I'm telling you.
I grew.
There, but you must also
Each
teach
and-
that
I
you
grew-
will not get it at
I
the
grew.
time.
I grew up
It's
believe.
true.
I grew up believing that if I don't do you wrong,
Don't do me.
don't do me
They
wrong.
will do you wrong.
And
Because they are bad people on this earth. That is what
they don't tell us that they are bad people on this earth.
It's not that they are bad people on this earth. Human beings.
They should just tell us human beings are wicked. And if you do something to me, please, right in front of the camera. Me, don't write me straight. If you do me, I'll do you times 3. It has to pain you.
It is
So don't run me straight. If you do me, I'll do you some. It is blood that is flowing through my veins. If you do me, I will run you times 2. So yeah, thank you. Bye bye. Continue.
It is only you can only be hurt, at least emotional, like the real hurt, by the people you have given the chance to.
True. That's true.
And by the people you have given the chance to. And once you give the chance to somebody, you have to prepare yourself. Not to say prepare yourself, but you have to allow yourself that if you are ever hurt, you will feel your feelings.
Yeah.
And just feel your feelings, not even about move on. Just allow yourself. You have to give yourself that pass, that if ever I am hurt, I will feel my feelings and I will go through this process. You understand? Because this is what life is about. I'm telling you, people will hurt you. You will hurt people too. Me, I thought I could never hurt anybody. I won't. Oh, me, I respect
knowingly
girls.
and unknowingly,
Me, I respect girls. Oh, me
can.
and girls don't go do this. But I've done things. I've been in a way with a woman which was wrong, like it was cheating, and I know what comes with it.
Yeah.
You understand? And also, I have been on the other receiving end.
Yep.
To understand the feeling. I was like,
And
hey,
they do me.
hey.
So when it comes to parenting, I kind of grew up alone. I fixed myself so many times. My mom was not in my life.
Yeah.
And,
You said that.
my dad was not in my life. And growing up, I always wanted to have a relationship with my mom. So when I got to like 20, 21 there, I started calling and getting closer. But then I started seeing her. And my relationship with my mom started off from, make away.
Your mom asking you for things.
Yeah. And my mom, I have a junior brother from my mom's side. And my mom, he practically lived with my mom like throughout.
He got what you did not get.
So most of the time, I have this feeling that I feel like my mom, we get to a point, this is some, I don't know if
Your own thing in your head.
so I feel like when there is a situation and my mom has to give one of us up, like she won't even blink.
She'll give you up.
Simple.
Because you think your mom loves your brother more than
Yes.
But my mom also gives me up like that.
Like I have that is some quality dreaming in my mind.
Okay, it's not in collage up until now. Me, my mother Georgina, she still gives me up. She and funny home, she will give you up. Then later come and explain that I didn't want this person to see you in this light, so I'll tell the person that you did it, so that the person will go away thinking it's happy.
Clay was talking about
That I feel like my mom loves.
so he's talking about
Me, my own, it's not about love, but then giving you up in the midst of people. I don't even mess up. The thing is, I have not done it, but yes, see the line I tell no,
So like like I have that feeling deep within that my mom kind of is so much. So she doesn't, when she wants something from you and you cannot give, sometimes the way she will behave. And I feel like if my junior brother was in my shoes and she supposed to ask her for something and my junior brother can't do it, or better not say, on because my mom can call me like 20 times and I won't pick it up.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I hate my mom. I love my mom so much. But like there is this thing between children, like son and
But
mom.
it's also important that sometimes you set a healthy boundary.
Yes.
You see, there's this thing between a son and a mother, and
You don't have it.
Sometimes I try, but like it's still.
Don't force yourself.
And even with my dad, my dad kind of built his way back into my life, and I listen to him a lot, and I feel like he has been through a lot as a man, and I can learn so much from him. I'm able to have a lot of conversations with him. Sometimes he says his stories to me just so that I don't repeat such mistakes in my life. But between my dad and my sister, like there is this thing that they can't. You see, my dad was the same way my dad was not in my life growing up. He was not in my sister's life growing up as well. So my sister kind of doesn't have that
a relationship with your
father,
and that is based on how your father raised her.
But like I feel like when you came back and because my dad was not able to get to Ghana because of documents, papers, and everything. But like if I was in my father's shoes and I finally got the document and stuff and came to Ghana, I will make sure I create some bond between my daughter that I've not been in her life for like 21 years.
This conversation, I am telling you, it is not for our parents. It is for us. Because
they've made their mistakes, they are done.
Because the more we say, the more you expect the man who has been hustling for how many years now? Trying to find his way to come back and then know how to be a father. And then know how to be a father. And then know how to be a father. You see, just the same way as you did not see, and you're talking about fear of commitment, you did not see a man and a woman together. Same way, he has not had the opportunity, even though he has biologically given birth to the children, hasn't had the opportunity to grow up, to see this kid, the child grow up, change little by little. And then he can adjust. When the child is growing up, then you know how to adjust your tone.
Yeah.
And then you know how to adjust. And then you're seeing the changes. It's natural. It's back and forth. Your kid does something. They push a boundary with you. You push back to show them there's a boundary. You can go this. And then your kids know. And then by the time most fathers in households where the mother and the father are together, they don't even talk.
True.
They don't even talk.
Some don't.
The mothers will be, I report you to your father, the kid.
That's it.
Or
The father may be
the
around.
son is doing the as for the daughters, if the father is around and the daughters, the father can't do anything about the daughters. A father who is around the daughter, is weak.
Yeah.
So like when I was hearing the story about the man who is giving the daughter away that way, like those people, they're beasts. A father who is around the daughter is weak. This is your weak. She's your weak point. She's your weak point. Like, and you will get to her. You will get to her, but you won't get to her with, hey, move here. No. You will get to her by begging and negotiating. I mean, like, okay, when we do this, we'll do this, and then you emotionally, and that's how a father can get to pass on some of that male practicality into a daughter.
Yeah.
You understand? And then when the girl grows up, she still has that emotional side as a woman, but then she's also learned that practical way that men think, our compartmentalization, the way we put things.
The whole thing of being, valuing yourself as a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if the dad is not around to pass that on, and then she only has to deal with the mom, who is all emotion, all pain. If it's pain, then it's just a rush of it, and it's emotion. Then you get what is being passed on to the child. But to say again, most parents in a home that the father and the dad doesn't even talk much.
Yeah, true.
Have you done your homework? Like, the mother can be there, and Jason's not doing his homework. Jason, go and do your homework. Jason will get up straight away. Go and do his homework. Because daddy said so. And then if it's the woman, the mother knows how to handle it. Or if it's not, the father will come and pick it, come and sit here, let's do the homework together. And then they'll do the homework. And then she'll do the homework. So I think this whole conversation, we're having it for ourselves and to learn how in the future we are going to treat our children. When to be strict and when to be not always be reasonable, but when to be strict and when to be soft.
Yeah.
When to be hot and when to be cold. And when to talk to the child like a child and when to talk to the child like an adult. Like when to talk to them when they are growing.
This is not even us trying to say, don't discipline your children or don't try and correct them in the right way. This is us simply saying that you can do it, but then let them know that, you're not just doing a duty or you're not just doing a responsibility, but you're also trying to create a relationship between each other. Because one thing I would say every day is that we are here and then our parents make it look like they are just doing their duty, and that's the thing. They can't be your friends. They have this thing, your mother cannot be your friend. Your mother is supposed to be an authority figure in your life that is going to
I see that a lot, and I don't see how your mother can't be your friend.
and
You
there's
see-
that. So in the end,
There are stages. There are stages. And if you stay with your parents, I think you learn all the stages. There's a stage where your mother will be some way to you. There's a stage where she has to be this way, and then there's a stage where she will be your friend.
My
And-
mother, we had that friendship relationship after high school.
And there are stages where all of that will come.
Yeah.
And we all have to live with what has happened to us,
Yeah.
and then learn and try
And be better.
and try and be better. Like there are people who are taking care of their children. They've never beaten them before. Their children have been brought teenage pregnancy to the house.
Yes.
And there are people who have beaten their children.
Children,
Yet the girls have gone and brought teenage pregnancy to the house. So it is not the beating. It is not the beating.
So
It is not the beating.
stuff like this, right? I think last week and this week, both conversations that we've had have found a way to put me in a space. Parenting, a very sensitive thing. for me,
Sensitive.
because Charlie,
Yeah, go inside.
I've gone inside.
Yeah.
And so it has caused a lot of things for me as an adult that I'm still dealing with.
It's crazy for me that we have all we have all gone. We all have like stories that are so diverse.
Everybody in this country, right? Whether people from two parent home, one single parent home, everybody has a different version of how they were traumatized.
So this thing happened. I told you high school, I used to live with this lady and her family. So they had this morning devotion thing they used to do. And I go to their house all the time. So one morning we were supposed to go somewhere. And the man called his wife and their child to the room to have this family gathering, family meeting. And as I was ironing my clothes, I asked myself, what exactly have I done wrong that I don't have this for myself?
Yeah.
My mother is doing this. My father is doing that. The only time we get to be together is when we are about to eat. We always eat together. But then that particular moment where the man came to call his child to the room and I was left outside,
Yeah.
had a toll on me. And I told myself I would never
Let your child
make my child experience this. So even if I'm in a relationship where there's a child and they are killing me,
be there.
I will be there. But as at now, as at that point, that's what I said. But right now,
you have used your sense to think.
right now, my brain is thinking properly. If they beat me, I'll beat you back.
Okay, so this has been an informing episode.
Yeah.
Some of us are dealing with our demons. have
This
a lot of
episode, I
demons.
think we should
Do part two.
revisit it because
No.
We don't want to cry. It's okay.
I mean, we can
emotions
go back.
have been.
Charlie, some of us are working with Charlie.
Charlie, what working with crutches and
Guys.
Yakuba ne bubu.
So yeah.
but we don't talk our emotions. We don't talk our emotions. I was recently telling a friend to go and see a therapist, and because he's going through a hard situation.
Papa, wait, what about master minister? I told my mom I'm going to see a therapist.
She's
No,
not mad.
I did not tell her I'm going to see a therapist. I told her I'm seeing a therapist now. She told me I'm not mad. There's no way her daughter would ever be mad. Why is it that now I have money and I want to spend it? If I want to talk to somebody, she's there. Why is it that I want to go and sit in front of somebody and tell her my problems?
You are selling their family secret.
She called my dad and told my dad to talk to me and let me understand that I don't need therapy.
My friend was on board with the therapy until I told him, you know what? The places where you can find actually a good therapist is across psychiatric hospitals. Like,
No. So me, dear, mine was silly. At some point, I was like, they almost prescribed antidepressants for me, but then I said, "Wallahi, I am doing that." So I remember they gave me an assignment to let my mom know how I feel. And I called her. I called her to try and see if I can. I was on the phone. I said one, two, three, and I started crying and I hung up. But I remember she called me sometime and asked me if um, she's the reason why I am so tough on myself. And I said yes. And I cried. And I cried. And I think after that conversation, then I think we started to
Speak.
talk. But it is not even, rainbow flying now.
Trust
But it's
me.
better than
Trust me. She wants a relationship. Even she doesn't know how to go around it. This is what I'm saying. Even our parents want a relationship, and in the time when they were acting even their worst, that's them reaching out for a relationship and not knowing how to do it because they've not done it before and fumbling it. But
so yeah.
life is like that.
We all have experiences. I'm believing that if you're in the comment section and you've watched to this point, you know that you also have issues that you don't even know you have. So,
I am telling you, people know their issues.
Please.
We just don't open up. We just don't open up to them.
So please, if it's a therapist you need to go and see, I am begging y'all. It is very important, your mental health,
Me,
especially in this economy that you can go mad at any time. If you feel like you need somebody to talk to,
Charlie, this economy, don't go and shoot someone. Don't go and touch someone's business. So otherwise they'll slap you. I'm talking from experience.
talk to somebody. Because see, there are a lot of frustrated people walking on the streets.
They'll slap you, eh?
And if you do not take care, you'll be walking on the street thinking you're normal, but Charlie, a lot of abnormal people are walking on the street fully dressed. So please try, talk to somebody about mental health, especially some traumas that you've carried, from some places.
And if you can't talk to your parents, talk to your
them.
parents.
Try and resolve.
Talk to your parents. If there are things that you need to resolve with them, try and resolve it with them.
Because trust me, you may feel like they've hurt you. You don't really want to get in touch, but the second one you lose one.
Yeah.
It becomes like a crazy thing for you. So this has been an amazing episode. You guys have done well. Bravo.
Yeah, clap for yourself. No more beside your money,
But so maybe send him back Adia for real.
Hey, Charlie.
Send him money,
Hey.
G general the man or see and there will
Hey. Please, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share.
Follow us
on all our
On
platforms.
all social media platforms.
It will be yes. So you guys, we'll see you in another.
See ya.
Ciao, ciao.